fire, fire.
This week on The $1 Million Plan, I talked to a fellow ginger. I know we're going out of style. Wait, we're not going out of style. I think we're going out of existence. So we're going extinct. So I'm going to help a brother out and help this red-headed gentleman put his financial life in order. And I welcome to the program now, Red. What's going on, Red?
Doing all right. How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing pretty well. What brings you on this this little show here today? What are we helping you with?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out and see if we are making the financial moves to be able to retire maybe by 60, somewhere around in that age frame.
All right. Well, as a New Yorker, I can tell you're from New York based on your accent. So
yeah, sorry about it. Be Southeast, baby.
No, that's all right. So where are you in the country? I assume in SEC country, right?
A little bit further north than that, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Very nice, the North Carolina. I went to the South Carolina for vacation. Do you have feelings about the South Carolina?
We're the better of the Carolinas.
Look, I'm not going to argue there. So you want to retire in the 60 range, somewhere in there. Help me understand, though, what's going on in your life now? How old are you? You have a family? Like, what's your financial status now?
37 and 35, myself and the wife. I'm the older.
Okay.
We have an 8-year-old daughter. She'll be 8 in September. She was just recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so that has thrown us a curveball.
Yeah.
And
in what way? Monthly
right now
monthly medical costs, or how has it thrown you? Like a financial curveball, or just an emotional curveball?
Yeah, well, both.
Right.
On both. We just took care of the hospital bill, and then her ongoing monthly bills as far as insulin goes and testing strips. And I'm waiting for Wilford Brimley to ride in with his nice mustache to solve the problem, but I haven't seen him yet.
He might creep out an 8-year-old girl, if we're being honest, though. You know what I mean?
Might.
Like, he rolls up and he's like, I got it, you taken care of, sweetie. And she's like, I don't want oatmeal, number one. Number two, you're creepy. And you say diabetes wrong. All right, that's number three.
Well,
right?
If he rode his horse, she'd probably be enamored with that. She'd forget about him.
People do like horses. So what's your deal? Who works? You work? Does your wife work?
We both work. We both work for local municipalities, and she does payroll, and I specialize in agriculture.
Okay. You specialize in agriculture. What does that mean?
I have a job that only few people have, that all 50 states are supposed to have a laboratory that specializes in this. Some of them are private, most of them are public. I don't know how deep I can go into that.
Oh my gosh, I feel like marijuana's involved, but I don't even know.
It just has recently been involved in our state, so yeah, it can deal with that.
I'm not a marijuana guy, but that's great. All right, so what kind of income you got going? Now, what's your income?
Our gross is about 75,335 every year.
Okay, and then any debts, any savings? Like, what do you got there?
We don't carry any debt at the moment other than a mortgage.
Okay.
And savings-wise, between the car fund and the emergency fund right now, the emergency fund we're trying to rebuild, we're looking at about $12,500 in the bank.
So it sounds like, I don't want to put words in your mouth here, Red, but it sounds like your financial life is stable. Is that accurate?
Yes, I would say that I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but I'm not overly worried.
Do you and your wife both have pensions because you work for a municipality?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's nice. And you have confidence in their ability to continue to thrive as a municipality? It's not one of those they're going to go under as a town or city?
I think so. The recent guy who's taken over this past election has fired a couple money managers that have been heavy on fees, and our pension is supposed to draw 7.25%, or supposed to make 7.25%.
Jeez.
And I don't think it's been doing that, but he's going to get it back on track to do that.
Wow. On the local level, right? You're not talking about on the federal level. You're the local elected official.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Just making sure, because there could be confusion. But what do you, long-term investments? We have you at $51,818. Are those in your retirement plans and maybe a Roth IRA? Is that what you have set aside?
That's a combination of Roth old 401ks, which are in a traditional IRA, and a current 401k that my wife has.
In between what you put in the 401ks and what you put in the Roth IRA, you put $602 a month all told towards those. So actually, let's go ahead and get your $1 million day rung up here just to get a feel. It'll be March 1st of 2043. March 1st of 2043, you will be a millionaire. Now, to retire, we have your retirement age at age 67 based on Social Security numbers right now. You will have $1.46 million if you keep doing exactly what you're doing now, which will give you income in future after-tax dollars of $3,400 a month, but it will feel like $1,600 a month in today's dollars. But here's the good news, Red. That's going to be on top of 2 pensions and what I can only assume to be 2 Social Security benefits.
I hope we can see Social Security time. I don't expect it to be 100%, but a little bit of gravy on the biscuit.
There's a phrase I've been going with recently. If you don't risk it, you can't get the biscuit. I don't know. Does that work? Jeff Sessions. You're familiar with the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, right?
Yes.
I feel like that's a guy that appreciates a good biscuit. No?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Probably
know.
so. He sounds pretty Southern.
Yeah, Southerners love. I love biscuits. I'll be honest. I'll eat anything that's made with flour and butter or lard, for that matter. Look at me. So what? How do you react to that? $1,600 a month in today's dollars, on top of 2 pensions, on top of hopefully some Social Security. That's solid. It's not perfect, but it's okay, right?
Right, and I only see ourselves increasing as we go. We just recently got raises. The monthly contribution to retirement has gone up again, but I'm also leaving a little slack in the budget to combat with the medical stuff that we don't see coming.
Yeah, for your daughter. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, what was the bill with all the diagnoses? Like, was there a pretty big chunk of money that was due upon that whole thing?
It was about $3,100 after insurance.
And then regular insulin on a regular basis. But hopefully you got good health insurance through the municipality, right?
You would think so. You would think with 300,000 to 350,000 employees, they'd have some buying power, but it's not as impressive as it should be.
Yeah, it's frustrating. So where do your financial stresses lie? The future, the midterm? It doesn't feel like you have short-term financial stress once you got past your daughter's diagnosis.
Yeah, I don't. I guess short term, I feel like I should be throwing a whole lot more in there, and who wouldn't if they had the opportunity to throw more in there?
Yeah.
I just want to know that when I hit that meal, that I can still grow it and continue to grow it, and the pension's coming in. Technically, if we could live off of $60,000 a year, I think we would be okay. And between my wife and myself, I would say our pensions are going to be in the neighborhood of between $1,500 to $1,700 a month between the both of us. Well, hers is $1,500, $1,700, and likewise for me. So just multiply this number.
Sure. So I guess my question would be, you said you want to retire early 60s, right?
Yeah, 60. If the gun shop, if working in the gun shop after I turn 53 and I jet out of the state, if I turn out that I love that, I might work that till I die. Who knows?
You like the guns?
Darn right. Darn right.
I got a couple guns. I used to hunt birds in high school with my girlfriend's dad. The girlfriend and I broke up, but I kept dating her dad, and we'd go bird hunting all the time.
Right on.
Do you like fishing? You like fishing at all there, Red?
Oh, yeah, that usually comes hand in hand with shooting.
So here's the thing. I've recently taken to fishing. Why? I have no idea. But I'm currently addicted to bass fishing, and I the best I can explain it to people who look at me crazy when I say that, because that's just not really my thing. You wouldn't think it is. It feels like chess to me. Bass fishing feels like chess. There's so much involved to try to get the bass in your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to cast to his environment and trick him into biting.
I don't even know. I assume there's male and female bass. I mean, I don't know how reproduction works, but I assume. How do you know if you catch a female bass? And what do you know these things? Do I have to Google this?
You can't. I can't look at a bass and tell it.
I looked between its fins and I didn't see anything, so I assume most of them are female.
Right. It ain't like a male shark.
Do male sharks have?
Yeah.
They
equipment
do?
that's visible.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Nicole, do not pull an image of a male shark's genitalia up on the screen, please. So anyway, besides fish genitalia, what any other midterm stresses? What about college funds for your daughter? Is that something that concerns you, or you want to plan for? What's your thoughts around that?
That's something we currently have about $2,000 in, and we're not funding. She told me today when we took some money to the bank for her deposit that she was going to save some of that for college, and I'm okay with that. But I mean, I don't know what college is going to be for her in 10 years. I'm assuming it's still going to be something that's out there, but just early in life, I don't know what she's going to choose to do.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, sort of the best strategy, in my opinion, there is to try to hyper fund it now, and if you need to pull back later, then at least time has worked for you. $2,000's okay, but at 8 years old, I'd like to see it a little higher. I guess the real question then becomes, what is the number one priority for you for your next extra dollar in your life right now? Do you have an answer to that? Like, if I give you $500 right now for introducing me to the idea that sharks have protruding genitalia, and let's say that pleases me to no end, and I want to give you $500, what would you fund?
The majority of it would go to retirement.
Interesting, right? So you've got 12,000 in emergency fund, 2,000 in college, but you feel like your number one, like, check off the list is retirement. I don't disagree. I just find that to be interesting. I'm glad you have an answer.
I wouldn't put it on my house because the interest rate's 3.875, and I can do better in the market. I feel like I can do better in the market. I know you base your percentages on 8%,
right.
But I feel like that's double what I'm paying in house interest. So
tell me about your mortgage? It's 30-year?
Say that again.
Is it a 30-year mortgage?
Yes, it's 30. We currently owe about 27 and a half. We're right around there.
You owe $27,000 on your house?
I'm sorry, 27 and a half years.
Oh,
about
27 years.
Yeah, right, about 157 on a $215,000 house.
I almost got as happy as a male shark in mating season there.
Oh, yeah.
I did just Google male shark genitalia, as one naturally would when they're doing a television show. And it turns out, I think male sharks have two Peter
ding,
the
ding,
Planners.
you are correct.
Ding, 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 dong, ding, dong. This is, are we going to have to put explicit, Nicole, I need a ruling here. First of all, do you have to fill out a form for human resources because of this show?
Yeah, I've been sitting on the other side of this microphone just thinking all of these things, wondering what are we going to have to do to edit this?
Yeah, we just let it go. All right, thank you, Nicole. Nicole's sort of in charge of the show, Red, and so life insurance. What about life insurance? I'm going to ask about that. What's your life insurance situation?
I'm covered. I won't say it's a 25-year term for $400K, and my wife is covered on a 20 or 25-year term for about $250K.
And that seems like it's in line with what your incomes are. You making about 48, and she's making the remainder, 37 or so.
Yeah, we're close to those. Yep,
yeah.
Those numbers.
Okay. And do you have a will?
We have legalforms.com or something.
Sure.
Another will. It's not a go to the lawyer kind of will, but it's probably something we need to update.
So, and it seems like your financial stress level is pretty low. Like I feel like I originally, as we've started talking here, I described your situation as stable, and I'm going to go with that. I think your situation is very stable, and you're just looking how to make good even better, right?
I'm trying to make a good decision on what I have available. I want to make sure that pension's there. I want to make sure I got a meal on top of it or more, and that I can just float. When it comes time, and I want to float, and I want to just say I'm out. That's what I want to be able to do.
You have a truck, don't you?
Got two. And they're both 17 years old.
Okay, so you got old trucks. That's good. That means you don't have a truck payment.
Well, we paid for both of these brand new 17 years ago, and I figured every year I drive them, it continues on as a year it costs me less and less.
Do you have a new truck fund? Because at some point, 17-year-old truck.
We got a car fund.
Okay.
We also have a 2007 Toyota, and when one of the trucks croaks, that's what I'll go to, and then we'll get her something newer.
It's funny. What do you feel like the next financial decision in front of you is? I mean, yeah, obviously, it's to put more away for retirement to make that decision over and over. But what do you think the next thing for you to accomplish financially is, or is this the boring part that sometimes people trip up because at some point, if you're stable and you're saving for the future, it just gets boring. What do you think's in front of you?
I would say next is the vehicle, and we have taken the vehicle fund each month and rolled it to the emergency fund because we're trying to pay it back from that medical bill. So the vehicle's next, but every time we hit a bump in the road, we usually will take it to be able to fund the emergency fund back.
I like that you were
So
talking about your
vehicles would probably
truck.
be
You're talking about trucks, and then you said a bump in the road. It was sort of a mixed metaphor.
Yeah, you like that?
I did. I don't know if it was on purpose or not.
It wasn't.
I liked it. Yeah, so I see what you're saying there. Sometimes that fund gets robbed for your other emergencies, so it suffers a little bit. I would argue this. I think you're doing a good job saving for retirement. I feel like more money has to float for what will eventually be a new truck right now, because if you don't, I mean, would you buy a truck on payment, or are you only going to buy it when you have the cash?
Yeah, only with the cash. People would like me to buy it with a payment.
Oh, I know.
Especially her parent. But I said, no, we're not doing that. We will do it when we get the cash, and we will buy what we can afford with the cash, because I don't want to be in payment land again. Not unless I'm going to drive it for another 20 or 25 years. But I still don't want that in the budget, and knowing that we have another medical event, and all of a sudden I've got to rob my car from, which I can't rob because I'm making a payment, and that payment has to be there, or they're going to come get the vehicle.
Red, what is it about people? I always find this is, why do other people have opinions about some people's unwillingness to take on a payment? Like you mentioned, your in-laws are like, they want you to have a payment. I see that all the time. People are like, yeah, so-and-so wants me to buy a truck on payment, but I don't want to, and they think I'm crazy. It's like, well, first of all, why the hell do you care? Like, why do people do that?
Right. Yeah. I don't get it. I guess that's just the way they have come to spend their money, and that doesn't bother them. I guess payment is normal in society, and it was for me. That was my goal when I got out of college. I want a brand new truck. I deserve a brand new truck. Well, I've changed my financial outlook from that, so I don't try to reward myself with that type of purchase.
What's your degree in? Agriculture or like horticulture? What's it in?
I actually did go to school for horticulture, and I did land a job, and I actually toured the place that I work at when I was in college, thinking there's no way in the world I would work here, and guess what? Where I ended up.
Man, I'll be honest. I just know the word horticulture. I have no idea what it even is, but let's not explore that, because I want my viewers and listeners to think I know what I'm talking about. I'm curious, Red, your situation is so stable. What was your financial life growing up as like a teenager with your family? Like, did you live a similar lifestyle that you live now, or was it different?
Well, I got some budgeting advice from my dad. I got a credit card when I entered college. It had a $500 limit, and I had a sense of budget. I was probably more a spender than I was a saver, but my savings muscle came after college.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I always find like those primitive. That's not the word I'm looking for, Nicole. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word starts with P. No one knows what it is. But those years when you're in high school, and that's how your lifestyle is sort of set for your early 20s. Is that you want to try to replicate what your parents are doing or outdo them, and that can be a dangerous thing. So, before we move on with our days independently, because we're not hanging out right now, any other questions I can answer for you?
I don't think so. I think you give me a little bit of comfort in the fact that I'm doing okay. I feel like 602 is a little light. I feel like most folks that are really pumping it for retirement are putting at least $1,000 in a month, which seems strange to me. But I don't make the same income some other folks make. If we were pulling down $6,000 a month, I don't think we'd be having the call.
Yeah, there's a couple issues here. Number one, you're right about. You are light on retirement savings, but you also have 2 pensions. If you don't have confidence in that you'll have 2 pensions, then I would totally crank up 401k. But at this point in time, you can focus on, if you're not bringing in $6,000 a month, so you can focus your income on some of your other priorities, funding transportation, eventually paying off your house, hopefully switching some funds to college if necessary. But I don't know. I'm really happy with the way your life's structured financially, as long as those pensions are there.
And I think they're going to be, and that's completely reassuring for me. So that will put to ease some of my pressure on retirement, some of that. And I feel that pressure more because my wife, even though she's in a payroll position, that's her job, accounting is her thing, she has no interest in retirement.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have a pension, you don't have to have a ton of interest in retirement. You just have to keep working where you're working. Sometimes that strategy works, but sometimes it backfires if the pension goes away. But that's not as big a problem in municipalities as it would be, a private company. So that's why I'm not as worried about your situation. But I appreciate you sharing this with us. It's always good to meet another fisherman, and I say that loosely because I'm 3 weeks into knowing how to catch a bass. So thanks so much for sharing with us today.
Yep, another ginger to ginger conversation. Just make sure when you're out there fishing that there's only two colors that we wear, and that's Casper and lobster. So you better put the sunscreen on.
Thank you. I love it. Thank you for caring about my skin, Red. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Now, if you want to be on the show, go to PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. We are approaching our 200th episode, right? Nicole, how far away are we from 200?
When this post will be at 185.
Okay, so if you are the 200th episode of this show, I don't know. We'll give you a fish. I don't know what we're going to do. So go to PeteThePlanner.com/podcast. Try to be on the show. That's it for this show. We'll see you next time.
This is where I came from. Planet Lovetron, where we drop love bombs, funk missiles, and live in soul shelters. No helter-skelter. The heat don't swelter because everybody stays cool. Left many moons ago to bring the philosophies of my ancestors to another place, God. Picked the third rock, gave me to my earth family, and told me to create, and so I am. Pen in my hand, microphone on the stand. Over vinyl, I command and demand. Magnificence in an instance, I can make you dance, cry, or love. Fly as a dove, released from Everest. The fresh is fresh, and you can call me E.T. Word to John Tesh. Let me bless this harmonic presentation. It's amazing, so amazing. I'm the reason. Salutations, I bring you Lovetron greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Lovetron can restore your health. I bring you greetings, salutations. How you doing? And is that how y'all say it? The tinkling of the keys is an homage to the little star. I sojourn over poetic descriptions of sound and travel to my other world. Out of this world, spaceship on my arm took me home, fueled by the ink and the megabytes and the hypertext transfer protocol, stronger than the Skynet and the Terminator. I push faders into warp speed, glide with ease, creating a breeze they call a black hole. Event horizon, no rear view concerns. This I adjourn, in beats I burn. This I adjourn, in beats I burn. Salutations, I bring you Lovetron greetings from a faraway land. I am the sole controller. Put the remote down and let me take control. You're now a part of my zone, so enjoy yourself. Lovetron can restore your health. I bring you greetings, salutations. How you doing? And is that how y'all say it?